Well, for more developments in Syria, I'm now joined by Dr. Hisham Ghassib. He's a political analyst from Jordan. Well, there are conflicting reports from the Syrian opposition at the moment, some suggesting the opposition has rejected talks involving the government. Others suggest they are actually thinking about it. So do you think they will come to the table and talk eventually?
Well, you see, we can't talk about the opposition as one bloc. I think that we have many oppositions, as you know. Now, the internal opposition, I'm sure that they would ultimately welcome such an opportunity to open talks with the regime. But the rest of the opposition, especially those stationed outside Syria, I think they will reject it. And not only they, but those who back them will reject it. As you know, many of the opposition groups outside Syria are supported either by Gulf states or by Turkey or by Western countries. But I think that this external opposition will even will not only reject it, but will try to disturb this effort and this initiative.
So are you saying that Turkey and other Western countries are trying to persuade the elements of the opposition to reject those peace talks? And if so, what's the reasoning behind that? What's the reasoning?
Well, I think they have their own geopolitical aims in the area and in Syria in particular. The West and the oil countries and even Turkey, I'm sure they have their own ambitions. They have their own vision of a future Middle East, and I think that Syria is pivotal in this respect. So I think, I don't think they want peace. Unlike Russia, which is, of course, we appreciate Russia's initiative because obviously Russia has emerged as a force of peace and understanding. But this does not apply to other countries, particularly to the Western countries and to the oil countries and to Turkey. I think they have geopolitical aims. They have geopolitical reasons for feeding the conflict in Syria. I think they're not interested in reform, nor are they interested in democracy or freedom. All they're interested in is to disturb the situation, to weaken the Iranian, Syrian, Lebanese alliance. I think that's what they're aiming at. And I think that what they're aiming at is some sort of a new Middle East that suits their purposes.
You mentioned Russia, Moscow's position indicating that it is really trying to encourage peace talks, also saying it will not support the draft UN resolution proposed by the EU and Arab states, which many say implies future foreign intervention. Who do you think, well, from judging by what you're saying, do you think that Russia will be overruled and will not achieve anything over this and will be hard pressured by the West and other states?
Well, I don't think so. I think that this is a good initiative on Russia's part, but I don't think it will succeed precisely because of this external opposition I've been talking about. The internal opposition, the opposition I call the patriotic progressive opposition inside Syria, I'm sure will ultimately agree to such an initiative, a bold initiative. Unfortunately, the rest of the opposition, those who are organizing the armed gangs, I don't think that they will, that it is in their interest at the moment to accept such an initiative.
Can I throw in another observation made by analysts, just very briefly? The West, you're saying, would like to see some sort of regime change there in Damascus, not wanting peace, because not only what's going on in Syria, but also what's going on in Iran. And that would actually weaken Syria's support for Iran, bearing in mind the pressures we're seeing there between the West and Iran. Do you think that's another objective, just very briefly?
Oh, yeah. Well, you see, the way I look at it, I think that after the military pullout of the American forces from Iraq, it seems to me that the Americans want to encircle the opposed forces in the area, and they want to weaken the link between Syria, Iran, and Lebanon in particular. So what I mean is that, okay, it is a message from the Americans. We're pulling out of Iraq, but that does not mean that we pulled out of the area. If you think that you can actually move freely now in your part of the world, well, you're mistaken. We're still there, and we have many tools to disrupt your celebration.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it.
Okay, Dr. Hisham Ghassib, very interesting to hear your views. Thank you for joining us there live in Jordan.
Thank you.